Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Thank you for being here, Jacob.
It's great to be here.
In your own house.
Yeah. The upstairs room.
Yeah. I guess we can go ahead and start if you're ready.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Well, so now this is the This Just In podcast, and we're trying to do more of a structured personal development podcast. So my first question for you, Jacob, you're a very disciplined individual in my eyes, more than I am anyway. So I'd like to ask you, you have a desire to be disciplined, right?
Yes.
Where do you think that comes from? Do you think that's like a genetic thing? You just happen to have a good source of your family wanting to always be disciplined and be good individuals, or is that something that you've developed? Where's that kind of started?
It's a good question. Thanks for asking that. I mean, I think people might think I'm a little more disciplined than I think that I am, but maybe that's a good thing. But maybe that means I'm hard on myself. But I think my brothers, definitely. I think my second oldest brother is a Marine in the military. And I mean, I remember being like 5 years old doing push-ups with him in the basement. So my brothers I look up to them a lot. Like, their discipline is definitely a source of, I guess, my discipline.
Where you want to be at?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My parents, I wouldn't say I got it from my parents, the genetics.
Yeah.
My dad often makes the joke that, like, his doctor is the same as our doctors, and he always tells him that he would do better to emulate his sons.
Yeah.
So.
That's great. Do you have anything specific when it comes to discipline? I don't know if that's a word that comes to me when I think about personal development, is discipline. So are there certain things you try to do to be more disciplined, or that you're proud of in your life of being disciplined? Is that something that you strive to do, or do you have any habits, I guess, that go along with being disciplined?
I think the helpful thing is keeping the things that you're disciplined, like, doable, and not trying to bite off more. Like, if you get into a workout program and you go really hard, like, that's hard to keep up. But if you take it in like steps and you just do something that's doable every day, it's like the same thing with prayer and like working out and studying, is if you just like take it in segments. And yeah, I'd say just breaking it down and just keeping it doable so you can keep doing it.
You're saying like not overcorrect for something that, you might be, in case in point, me at times, I get pretty lazy and then I overcorrect and try and do too much, and then I fall off the wagon almost immediately. So that's kind of what you're saying, right?
Yeah. I'm guilty of that too, but
right.
I think the times where like I've been the most disciplined, I guess, is like when I'm doing it in like bite-sized pieces, and it's not like I'm working out 3 hours a day, or, it's like I'm studying like a crazy amount. It's when like you've kind of got a balance of all things. So,
And just being consistent.
Yeah. I think that's key.
Yeah. I think being consistent and having your habits is a big part of being successful. And I think a big part of being confident for me, for whatever the reason that is, whenever I'm in some sort of routine where I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I remember last year, every day I'd come in and I'd do the dishes, and it was just like that same time of day I was doing the dishes. And I don't know why that seemed to have a correlation, but I seemed to be more confident and happy about the things I was doing. I don't know if that was do you have anything like that for yourself? Yeah.
So you'd say that like that habit of doing the dishes, like you started to enjoy that, like after you got past the like this kind of stinks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that was. It was just like I felt like I was doing something productive, but I wasn't doing school, and I wasn't doing football at the time. Is like I'm doing something that's still benefiting me and my roommates, but I'm not having to put forth too much effort, and it's not taxing on my brain or anything.
Yeah,
so it's a cool thing. But
yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you think you're hesitant to go do dishes, but once you're doing them, especially, I like to listen to my audiobooks when I'm doing dishes, but right. Once you're kind of doing dishes, it's very gratifying.
Yeah.
It's a very, like, a lot of things that you do, you don't really see the results right away. Like, you're studying and, you know that you're getting smarter, but it's not like a tangible like I can see myself getting smarter. It's like
quantifiable.
yeah. And like working out too, like, you know, when you like lift, like sure you might like, you know, feel stronger for a moment, but like your muscle doesn't build for like a while, you know, like noticeably, right. You know, getting stronger. But, you know, something where it's like you're seeing results right away, it's very gratifying.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you mentioned your audiobooks. What have you been listening to recently?
Ooh, Teresa's got me into the Harry Potters.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
I was raised that Harry Potters were satanic and demonic, and they're not, and they're awesome. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
So have you read them?
Oh yeah, I read them when I was younger. Which one are you on?
I'm on the fifth.
Fifth one, okay.
So Umbridge just took over the whole school. She's headmistress. Stuff's going down. Dumbledore almost got arrested.
Okay. I don't remember them all too well. I want to do another movie marathon. I did that when I was a kid, but it's been a while.
You did a Harry Potter marathon?
Yeah, it was like before the 7th. They have 2 parts to the 7th, right? So I think it was before the 6th and the 7th had come out. But it was like me and my brother, I think, watched all of them all the way through. So it was fun.
That's dedication.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It took a long time. I think it was over like a Christmas break when we didn't have to go to school or anything. So it was a good time.
Yeah.
But have you been listening to any other... I know you listen to Jordan B. Peterson. We've talked about that. So
yeah.
Any other kind of development audiobooks?
Yeah, there's this one I'm reading now. It's called The Rise of Superman.
Okay.
It sounds kind of cheesy, and but it's basically about the state of flow, and it looks at these extreme athletes and these amazing feats that they've accomplished. I mean, they talk about like 40 years ago, like what was thought humanly impossible, like we've done, and we've done it like 4 times over. It's
right.
like, it's crazy. Like, especially like in areas like skateboarding, they talk a lot about, and like skiing and mountain climbing, like rock climbing, like rock face, you know, like, I don't know if you've seen like the El Capitan Netflix documentary, but it's just like looking at how these super athletes are able to just like keep like go past like what we ever thought humanity was capable of,
above and beyond.
Yeah. And it's all about this state of flow where like you lose yourself and you're totally engaged. You're not even aware of like your individuality. Like you're immersed fully in what you're doing. And they like say that you got to bring that in to like your life and like the things that you do, like be fully and try to be as invested as you can.
Like in that present moment type of thing. Okay. Do you feel like you have anything that you actually get there? Is that kind of your jujitsu, would you say? Because I know you do enjoy jujitsu.
You know me too well.
Hey, called it.
Yeah. Jujitsu, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
You definitely enter a state of, like you kind of lose yourself a little bit and...
Like extreme concentration.
Yeah. Well, not even that. You're just kind of in like this, like you're just thinking about what you're doing next and like, it's just like a state of flow. It's not like you're like in fight or flight mode and like you're stressed out and you got to figure out how to survive. It's more like, like this is interesting. Like what do I try here? You know, it's like problem solving. It's like, that's like an engineering problem when you're at your, like when you are really into a problem and like everything makes sense when you're in the problem, but then you go back like a week later and you're like, what was I even thinking? Like, this makes no sense.
Right.
But it's like you were in that state of flow.
That's interesting. That's a cool thing, yeah. And you say a lot of athletes kind of experience that, and they've given their testimonies on it. Just
do you feel that like with football and stuff?
I definitely feel like at times I did. Probably more in high school when it was just like. Yeah, you're kind of in the game, and you know you get this anxiety before the game, being worried about like, oh my gosh, you know we got a big crowd, we got a lot of people here. It's kind of anxiety inducing, and then you actually get on the field, and after that first kickoff, after that first offensive defensive play, you're in the game. You know the plays, you're listening to your coach, and you're just still playing the same game you've played since you were 6 years old. So I think I understand that, and I've experienced it. So it's I wonder what scientific evidence is there any in that book that they actually talk about?
Yeah, they talk about. I mean, they use some scientific terms, and I'm like just getting into that part in the book where they're talking more about the science of it.
Okay.
But it's basically like before. So there's like instincts, which is like they make the claim that this is like even cooler than instincts. That like when you're in this state of flow, or like these athletes, like they'll do something and like it's not even instinctual. It's like this like another level of like, there's no way that like my body just knew to do that. Like they do this example of the guy riding this massive wave. He's a surfer, and like it's this like biggest wave like you never seen. Like guys were telling him like, don't do this wave, and he like went out there and did it, and like he just like stuck his hand like down in the water or something, and that like kept him from like going under. It was something crazy where he just like stuck his hand down somewhere, and that was able to like keep him from being like sucked under, and he doesn't even know why he did it, and he doesn't
just felt it,
and he like wasn't instinctual. It was just like he's like knew that's what he had to do. And it's like guys that are like climbing these faces of rocks, they like know like I need to go there, like I need. It's weird. They claim that it's like not instincts because it's not something that humanity would just know to do, but it's like when you're in the state of flow, you can't explain it, but it's like a gut feeling kind of thing. So they think it's different than instincts.
This seems like it has to be a little bit hand in hand with instincts. Just I haven't listened to the book obviously, but it does sound like there's got to be some correlation to like why you would follow your gut instinct, or gut instinct versus, no, I guess you just said not an instinct, but your gut versus following whatever instinct it might be to, hey, I don't need to even go farther than this, you know? So, but yeah, if you're in that state of flow, I'm sure it's inexplainable.
Yeah.
Inexplicable. That's the right word.
I
think it was it.
Yeah.
But, okay, we'll move past our audiobooks. Jordan B. Peterson, though, I guess that's back into one. 12 Rules for Life, if anybody's ever listened to it. Great book. I learned a lot from it. Did you have any big takeaways? There were a bunch of big takeaways, but what were your favorite takeaways from the book?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say 12 Rules is top 5 books in my of all time books. We were talking when Teresa was visiting my family. We were talking about our 5 favorite books all time, and I had to put Jordan Peterson up there. The like Jordan Peterson message that I think I'm very attracted to is like life is hard, but like it's doable, and the way to find meaning, or the way to like to move forward, or the way to like make your life the best that it can be is to like accept suffering and like accept responsibility. And it's kind of like a religious message of like taking up your own cross, and like he's like, stand up straight, like clean up your room, like take care of yourself, take responsibility for yourself, and then slowly work to like take responsibility of more things. And it's like life's hard, but just like take responsibility for it and like do the best you can.
That's one of the ones I wrote down was stand up straight. I find myself all the time finding a way to shoulders back, shoulders down, and stand up straight. I love the story at the beginning of the book where he's talking about lobsters and how they have a certain, I don't know if it was pheromones or what it was, but just in their stance, 2 lobsters can see each other, and one lobster will go, I'm inferior, see ya. Like that's the trait that they have from prehistoric times, that they've lived however long. I can't remember what number he says. It's like 300,000 years or something like that. But it's just the fact that you can just strike a stance. And I definitely feel that I do gain confidence in that, striking, just not even striking a stance, but shoulders back, shoulders down. And you feel a little more like you got better posture. It's like you got a string, I think I've heard before, from your head down to your butt, and it's supposed to keep you in line. So that's one that I took away as well.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about the lobster story. Yeah, a lot of people, he always wears a lobster tie. You see him like on interviews and stuff.
I don't think I've seen it.
Or people like they buy the Jordan Peterson tie or the shirts with lobsters on them. It's like his calling card is the lobster.
I'd be willing to buy that. I'd get a tie. That's a cool one.
Yeah.
But I also wrote down be precise in your speech. So I just looked at those rules right before we got on, and that was one of my favorite ones too, where you try and say what you mean and not add too much fluff to it. So as I'm saying that, I'm trying to be precise in my speech, and I think it's a powerful thing whenever you can be precise in your speech and communicate exactly what you're trying to say. Is that, I don't know if you remember that one as well, but I really enjoyed hearing that one.
Yeah, I sometimes think that, being precise in your speech is tough because I feel like I feel like I use a lot of like filler words or like, like trying to.
It's hard not to.
Yeah, but I'm also like not very good at filling time. Like when we do presentations or whatever, like talking to people, like I typically end, like I kind of say what I'm like going to say, and I'm not very good at filling like filler words, like a professor, you know, like the quintessential like word filler, you know, like
essentially. Dr. But drop an in the call out.
Hopefully
no,
he's not watching.
all that I'll say is that you guys have had very precise speech pretty much this entire time. So
really?
Congratulations.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Wilds.
Yeah.
One of the rules that I really like is that compare yourself with who you were yesterday, not with who someone else is today. I don't know. What did you think about that one?
That's another one I wrote down. That was it's hard whenever you can sit there and be caught up in what you want to be and see somebody else and you're like, I want to be like that. I want to be like that person. I want to have what they have, whatever the desire is. And then I think the mindset change to, okay, I understand where I'm at and I understand where I want to be. So now I need to see what actions am I taking in my past days to get to that. Maybe I'm not taking any actions to get to that end result, but you need to look at where you were yesterday and compare yourself to, what was it? Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not someone else today. So it's, you got to look at your actions and see, okay, are my actions really lining up with where I want to be in the long run? And that's, that's a big introspective thing to think about and to actually act on. But
yeah, it reminds me of, I don't know if you ever read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Just finished
Stephen Covey. No, you do. No way.
Just finished it. Took me a year, but I finished it.
Yeah. He says something in there about like life is not a zero-sum game and that like other people can win and you can win. And one of the problems with like, or one of the criticisms he has of like sports and society in general is that it's a very competitive thing. And like life is very competitive and like I need to win like over you, like, I need to win this project. But he's saying that that's a dangerous attitude. He's saying like, hey, you can win and like I can also win. Like it's not a winner take all, like zero sum. Like life, there are different, like you can win and someone else can win. And it's like a similar thing with comparing yourself. Like, hey, they can be like really happy, healthy, like strong person, but like so can I, and I don't need to compare myself with. Yeah, of course someone's going to be better, but it's like, it's not about like just getting to the top,
Right. Yeah, I think one of the habits was think win-win, which is like some people think win-lose, which is what you were just saying. Some people think that I have to be the winner in this contract. You're going to be the loser when he coaches people to really try and seek a win-win situation where like, okay, we're not agreeing right now. Let's scrap it and come back to it later. There has to be a situation that we can, a negotiation that we can come to a means of an end that is going to benefit both of us in a way that we're both happy about. And that's, our culture is probably much more on the win-lose side of things, thinking that you're not going to win, I'm going to win type of thing. And that's dangerous, destructive, I would say. But
I think that's especially a criticism of America. I think society, and I can't speak for the whole world, but that's definitely like a thing that people think about Americans is they're all about like winning and biggest houses, like, like people are like, they're 2 people and they have a mansion. It's like it's like you don't need all that space, but it's all about statements and like winning and losing. I mean,
look at my status. Look what I'm capable of. And
it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
But that's a criticism of capitalism, I think, is that.
And there's going to be flaws to any type of economic or political regime. Yeah, I guess.
For sure.
System.
System. So that is that's an interesting thing to think about, though. Just how destructive we can get with our thoughts. But I was going to ask you about your biggest life motivator. So again, you're a disciplined individual. I feel like you want to achieve things in life, and maybe that's family, maybe that's what you consider success, which is what I was going to ask next. But what is your biggest motivator, would you say? Is that to have a family, or is that to...
Like a person or like an idea? Like a kind of a mindset, or like a person specifically?
Either or.
Excuse me.
Either or. So I feel like you're probably very motivated in your spiritual life, by your spiritual life, right? I'm sure that's part of it, but...
Yeah, I mean, like when, like I get real with it, it's like we're all going to die, and it's like what really matters in the world, and it's like loving God and loving each other. I'd say that's huge. Like whenever I like actually reflect like on my life, it's like that's like what needs to be my goal, and so like the people that I think I look up to the most are the people that have that as like their primary goal, but they also like they live it out. Like they don't always like they don't just live like in the chapel, or like they love their family, they work hard at their job, like it like comes into their whole life, It's not like something that, and that's like what I guess I try to do. I think I'm pretty bad at it, but
see, and I'd say you're the best in this house, Wilds. What do you think?
Absolutely. You're running away. If it were a competition, a win-win competition, you're winning one of the wins.
I appreciate
there
that.
There it is.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So like a role model, my brother Peter. Okay. I would say he's probably my biggest role model.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a Marine. He's got 4 kids and this really happy family, and like one of the most genuine people, like probably the most genuine person I know. And yeah,
that's what I was going to say here a second ago. You are one of the most genuine people I feel like I've ever met. Now I'm only 2.5 years into knowing you. Maybe you're the most deceptive person ever, but I don't think that's the case.
He's pulling off some
he's got
deceptive scheme.
Got a great ploy, whatever it is.
I'm so deceiving. Jake the Snake. That's what they call me.
I can't wait to play Secret Hitler with you.
We did.
Oh, we played in Colorado. I forgot. We'll have to play a couple games here, though. That's good.
He's got a good poker face.
A good poker face. Do you?
I don't know. I don't really play poker.
I just mean in terms of like showing your hand. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess I got one more question for you. What do you consider to be success then? I think that's a big question, and I don't feel that I've fully defined it for myself, but I feel like I'm slowly trying to find the things that I value and put them into a category of, or a list of success factors. Mm-hmm. And one of those things for me would be, raising good and healthy children. Same type of thing as just being a God-fearing individual, loving others, serving others. I'd say that's a big part for me, is being able to serve others without this is something I really try to do in my day in and day out life, is serving others without expecting anything in return. That's a big thing, I think, for whatever, I don't know where that got stuck in my brain, but it's where I think a successful person, that's something they're able to do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
on my own podcast.
Yeah. Similar things. I'd say primarily like the way I'd measure success is obviously how much I put God first in my life, and like show that through loving others and like becoming more and more selfless. Like just like dying to self. I think that's ultimately like what's going to bring us the most happiness, like, because everything is fleeting, but it's, God is the one thing that's always there. Mm-hmm. So I measure success in that way, like my relationship with God, and that turning into like my relationship with others, so like loving my family, obviously like having a healthy, strong family, and like that everyone's like loved, and I'd say that's a big measure of success. I don't really have much of a desire to climb the corporate ladder. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll get in there and like want to be CEO, but
Yeah.
that's really not a big desire of mine, success. So yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that on this podcast. But
This just in.
This just in podcast. Well, Jacob, did you have any questions for me? The chair was creaking.
that was the
Yeah, I was like,
I heard it earlier.
Yeah, that was the chair. Not me at all.
So, Jess, I know you're trying to learn to dunk.
I am.
How's that going?
Good. Went through week 1 already of jump attack program, and I was unable to hold all of the lifts that I was supposed to. Like, if you can't hold it for the allotted time, you have to repeat. So I'll have to repeat week 1, which is probably good. I don't think I can move up to like 90 seconds and 60 seconds on some of the exercises. So
It's a pretty big increase. 30 seconds?
Yeah. I think hopefully my body adapts okay, but it's a legit program.
Yeah.
It's no joke. So
Yeah. Yeah, that seems tough.
yeah.
Relentless Total Body is the name of the one of the workouts he does.
Wasn't it Michael Jordan's trainer that wrote the whole thing?
Tim S. Grover, I want to say. He the book is called Jump Attack. If anyone wants to join along with me, it is a 12-week program, but it's now a 13-week program and it'll probably be so like if I get to week 2 and I'm unable to hold 90 seconds, I got to repeat that week or whatever it is, you know. So might end up being like a 6-month program. It's gonna be super indefinite. Now, hopefully, I'm dunking by the end of the semester. Still,
Yeah.
I'll have to drop some weight, get a little stronger, a little more explosive, and we'll see. But
That'd be awesome.
yeah,
How tall are you?
5'10".
5'10".
Now at every physical in high school that I went to, I was 5'9 3/4", but like, come on, I'm 5'10".
If you're wearing socks, you're 5'10".
Exactly.
If you have your hair, in the right shape, or wearing a ball cap,
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm similar. I'm like 5'8",
Are you?
3/4". I'm 5'9".
You're 5'9".
Yeah.
I accept it.
Yeah.
But
Respect.
all right. Well, Jacob, thank you for being on. We'll get to after hours after this, which is now going to be a separate playlist. So
Sweet.
I hope you enjoyed the productive side of this podcast, and thanks again for being on.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Do you want to hit that little fade to black? I'm gonna have to keep telling my producers this. Until
What is the fade to black?
there's a FTB button on. Okay.
Oh, we are fading. Okay.